Hi, good evening, everyone. So today I want to briefly talk about the notion of great powers. Now, a few decades ago, the noted historian and scholar, Dr. Paul Kennedy, wrote a book called The Rise and Fall of the Great Powers by Paul Kennedy. It's a very good book. You can get some used copies on Amazon, and I recommend everyone to get a copy and read it. But in essence, what causes one country to become really rich and powerful and another not, even when one country has lots of resources and another does not. But first and foremost, it has to have the rule of law. People have to know that if they invent something, if they build something, they have ownership of it, and somebody can't walk in and take it without that. So, one, it has to have a rule of law. Two, it has to have a free flow of ideas. The free flow of ideas is important because when you have a free flow of ideas, it tends to lead, yes, to innovation, creativity, and new ideas and better ways to do things. You can look at, for example, America. You can look at, you know, the Silicon Valley, United States, and all the Industrial Revolution back in England, the rule of law, which guarantee a person a right over their property, or over their invention, over their ideas, not to be stolen on a whim of a leader. That's important, but also the free flow of ideas. If you look at things like the Industrial Revolution back in Great Britain, up in United Kingdom up here, right? So look it up here in the United Kingdom. In the United Kingdom, there was the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution was also the free flow of ideas and the rule of law. Because with the rule of law, people can control over their ideas and their concepts, whether they're being stolen on the whim by the leader of the country, but also with the free flow of ideas, okay, apart from the rule of law. Now, so one, you have the rule of law, which protects the individual's property, ideas, and rights without it being stolen by a leader on a whim. Okay, that's why most, you know, autocracies and the oligarchical systems don't really create or sustainable great empires. They tend to eventually collapse. But once you have that, the rule of law, also the free flow of ideas. And the free flow of ideas tend to lead to innovation, creativity, new ideas, new ways of doing things, and new development. And also have a good education system. If you have rule of law, great education system, the free flow of ideas, i.e., some more freedom, so people can innovate, create, and do things, such as the Industrial Revolution back up in Great Britain and the Silicon Valley, United States. And these what leads to new ideas. Okay, so with that being said, with those ideas, also there's also the importance of geography. What I mean by that, let's take a look at the United States. Right, this is the United States right here. Over here you have a big ocean. Over here you have a big ocean. Up here you have Canada, which is solely a friend of the United States. More about, okay. And down here you have Mexico, okay, which we really both no trade in the moment, even though they need to fix the border. All right, now, and over here side you have the Rockies over here, and on the east side you have the Appalachians, and then down here you have this nice beautiful Mississippi Basin. So America is blessed with great geographic position. It's very hard to encircle America because of the huge oceans about it. All right. And that being said, you also have the idea of America has a large amount of natural resources and a very, very hard working population. You have the free flow of ideas. There's a degree of rule of law up to now. Thank you. On the other hand, let's take a look at, say, for example, China. China is right here. China is right on here, but China has not someone. Down here you got China right here, but down here you got the Philippines. Right down here the Philippines, Over here you have Japan. Up here you have here you have Korea. You have some Iran over here, India down here, and China has another great geographical location as is the United States. The United States is surrounded by ocean, with Canada up north and Mexico up south, totally friendly nation. But on the other hand, China can be easily occupied. We got the Philippines down here, got Japan over here, got Korea up here, and Russia up north of that, and you have India over here, and Vietnam. So you have China, you have India here, you have Vietnam down here, you got Japan over here, you got Korea, you also have the Philippines down here, you also have Indonesia down here. So China can be easily um, cut off from the sea lanes, okay? While on the other hand, America does have a better geographic location than China. Okay, secondly, the free flow of ideas and the rule of law currently through the United States. Right? Now, with that being said, if we, in the Dr. Paul Kennedy, the scholar in the book, in the book, The Rise and Fall of the Great Powers, speak about the idea of when countries sometimes they overextend, they stop being innovative and creative. It's start to develop a system of anarchies, start to become too it's focused inward on yourself. It's not being innovative, creative. The rule of law start to shrink in the face of oligarchies. Then and it's and on the military side overextended. That usually lead to the fall of a great power. We can look back at Rome. We can also look back at other empire that fall. Another thing related to the fall of a great empire is internal rot. The country's education system falls apart. It's the morals of the country start to fall apart, and with the internal rot combined with retraction of things like the rule of law, free flow of ideas, start seeing a less development of new products, new innovation, creativity, an overextended military, and eventually what that sometimes lead to is the country eventually just implode on itself. And that's most of the time the country, a great power, a great empire, a superpower, that's what they call it, usually it's a crash from within. It physically rotten from within. And so, yeah, that's my 2 cents. And hope you enjoy my brief conversation with you today. And I hope you have a good day. And bye for now.